everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The new parliament is again surrounded by controversy. The government recently announced that the new parliament building, which is part of the government's ambitious Central Vista project, will be inaugurated on May 28th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be the chief guest for the event. Soon after, Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh took a jibe at the BJP and called the new parliament as Prime Minister Modi's personal vanity project. The political war escalated quickly. The BJP has reminded the Congress that during the UPA rule, Congress and Jairam Ramesh himself backed a new parliament project. Since the announcement of the Central Vista project, in fact, the new parliament building has been at the centre of many such barbs. In 2020, the opposition slammed the government after they decided to continue the Central Vista project during COVID-19 pandemic. A row had also erupted after PM Modi unveiled the national emblem on top of the new building. The opposition claimed that the lions in the national emblem were looking uncharacteristically angry. Earlier this year, Jairam Ramesh called the parliament a colossal waste of money, although he was the one who during UPA rule backed the idea of a new bill. So is the politics around the new parliament needless and, dare I say, even mindless? We'll take those questions to our guests in just a bit. But first up, a bit about the new parliament. It's going to be state-of-the-art facility, a total area of 64,000 plus square meters, a seating capacity of over 1,200 parliamentarians, and that's really the most important aspect. There's a peacock theme for the Lok Sabha, which will now be able to house 888 MPs. On the other hand, there is a lotus theme for the Rajya Sabha, which will be able to seat 384 MPs. And the entire cost of the project is under 1,000 crore rupees. Most experts agree a new, bigger parliament was needed. The Congress itself has been in the favor of it during the UPA tenure. For some reason, the Congress now attacks this project and has done so numerous times. Like I mentioned, they've called this new parliament Prime Minister's personal vanity project. The BJP says the parliament project is for the entire country and is for national importance. The Congress has also attacked the current government, saying that there's no use of this new parliament when the opposition's mics are going to be switched off. The BJP says the new parliament was in place during even the UPA rule. So it's not something that has come up after they came to power. Congress has also said that we don't need this new building if it doesn't function. In other words, if democracy doesn't function inside parliament. But BJP has attacked the Congress leaders, calling them hypocrites and U-turn masters. Politics aside, the new parliament building is a new start for a new India. And it was much needed. The old parliament building is over 100 years old and had many structural and space issues. Delhi, meantime, has become more earthquake prone, so a new structure was needed. Currently, there isn't good amount of seating available even for the current number of MPs. And with delimitation exercise planned in 2026, the number of MPs is anyways going to increase. On top of that, the Central Hall currently doesn't have enough seats for MPs of both houses, while the new parliament will be easily able to host joint sessions. The big debate that's coming up, Central Vista project, is it needless politicking over India's new parliament? We'll take that to our guests in just a bit.
Parliament is not only of bricks and cements and steel. It is about the voices of people who are voiceless also. When the mics of opposition members are switched off, what is going to be the biggest thing in the new parliament? Will the mics be on in the new parliament? That's the question we have to ask.
देखिए, जयराम रमेश जी जो खुद हिपोक्रेसी और यूटर्न के मास्टर बन चुके हैं, एक समय पर जब वो यूपीए के मंत्री थे तब वही कह रहे थे कि ये नई पार्लियामेंट बिल्डिंग एक प्रायोरिटी है। ओल्ड पार्लियामेंट बिल्डिंग बड़ी खतरनाक है, डेंजरस जगह बन चुकी है।
Let's go across to our guests. Joining us, Ajay Alok from the BJP. Manish Khanduri is joining us from the Congress party. Vivek Silas is from the Samajwadi party. I'm also awaiting the arrival of Arun Anand, consulting editor, First Post. Manish, let me come to you first up. I just want to understand, what is the Congress's objection or opposition to the new parliament building? Because at this stage, it's turning out that you have a problem with it. but what is the opposition to it which the country should take note of?
Well, let's start. Let me start by saying one, that the new parliament is an established fact. There are no two ways about it. And as a citizen of India, I am also interested and excited to see how it turns out.
Okay.
Now, there's been a lot of statements that have been made on what Jairam Ramesh said, the Congress has said in the past. I think there is a significant divergence between an objective, the broad outlines of which people are in agreement with, but the way in which that objective is being accomplished. So that significant difference is what we are talking about.
Which is
Let's talk about the parliament. Who is it designed for? It's designed for the people of India.
Yes.
The representatives of the people of India are the members of parliament. Have they been consulted in any substantive way for the past short span of time that this project is taking place? Has there been any outreach to the various consultative or legislative bodies in the construction, in the design of parliament? As, for example, the Central Vista Committee or the Delhi Art Committee, have they been consulted?
Okay, one by one. Let me take it one by one. Let me take it one by one. Manish, just 1 second. You've raised a point. Let me take it one by one. Let me invite Ajay Alok of the BJP to respond to this. They're saying that, you know, we don't have a problem with the parliament per se, but you've not really made it a consensus joint exercise. As Jairam Ramesh has famously said, this has become a personal vanity project.
Well, when this project started, at that very point of time, they had jealousy, they had malintentions, and they went to Supreme Court even for the same Central Vista project. Refusing to acknowledge that this Central Vista project was responsible to give employment to at least 50,000 people during COVID times. But they were not concerned. See, Congress is basically jealous. They are jealous that this parliament is being made by NDA government under the Prime Ministership of Mr. Modi. And this is going to be the monumental history in the coming days of India, to which Congress party they won't be assigned to. That is the main problem. Because they're in a habit in the last 70 years that every monumental history, every historic things, historic buildings, all goes to the Congress kitty, Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru. Now this is the national parliament, man. It's a matter of pride for everyone. Today, after 73 years of independence, we are sitting in a parliament which is made by British. This was the word what was being said by the UPA when they were in the power. And when Mr. Jairam Ramesh used to say that we desperately need a new parliament.
Yes.
And when the new parliament is coming up, it's just nothing, it's just political jealousy.
Is this political jealousy then? Manish, political jealousy? Because you look at the statements that have come out. Attacking the Prime Minister, saying that this is a colossal waste of money. Now, if you don't object to the parliament per se, why would you say so? And astonishingly, these words are coming from the same person who batted for a new parliament building just 10 years ago.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. First of all, I think in terms of jealousy, I hardly know how to respond to that, because that's with due respect to my colleague from the BJP, it's somewhat of a frivolous charge, I believe. But I would like to say, look, there is a significant difference between a project and the way in which the project has been executed. We spoke about, let's say, COVID and the employment of 50,000 people. Hey, how about the fact that this building was, the construction happened during COVID at a time when the entire nation was in trouble, and you're going ahead with this monumental project, this grand project and breakneck speed at a time when your focus should have been elsewhere. Now,
but how did the construction of the parliament interfere in anything else? In fact, if anything, it employed people during COVID.
Man, you broke every single
COVID many other places, construction was ongoing.
And here you are in something which is a non-essential exercise at that point in time, and you're making a special provision for it. One. The second part of this is, what was the consultation that happened? I repeat again and again, Parliament, as enshrined in a democracy, is representative of the people. And if the people, the members of Parliament themselves, are not being consulted, if there is opacity, if there is a curtain drawn over proceedings time and again, and if this is being accomplished, then we have an objection. And that is what Jairam Ramesh was saying.
Ajay Alok, very quickly, please respond to that specific thing, that you don't really make it a collaborative effort. You've not really taken all parliamentarians together as far as this project is concerned.
Was it some kind of war that we should have taken everybody into consensus and a consideration decision? It was the parliament. And a parliament is being passed by the Lok Sabha. It was already said that the new parliament building is required. What consensus is required more? I mean, this is the heights of jealousy. You are just not proud of our heritage institutions. You want all heritage institutions to be the name by one family, that is Gandhi. How can that be possible? The government will come and go, but take pride in your national heritage monument, which is going to come up. We have been sitting in the British Parliament for the last 70 years. It itself is a matter of shame for us that we as India, who claims to be a Vishwa Guru, Dharam Guru, couldn't have our own parliament. Now, after delimitation in 2026, somewhere around 800 Lok Sabha MPs are going to be there. Where you are going to make them sit? You don't have vision to plan ahead. This is your problem, sir. You have ruled this country 65 years. You never had the vision that what needs to be done for the after 20 years.
Okay. Can I also...
Somebody is doing it, you're just opposing it out of jealousy for the heck of it.
Okay. Can I just bring in Arun Anand as well before I go across to the Samajwadi Party representative also? Arun, has the opposition and particularly the Congress Party acted like in a sour grapes fashion, where they themselves were mooting the idea of a new parliament building for obvious reasons, but because it is happening under Narendra Modi, somehow it has become an object of attacks?
I think there is a larger issue as far as Congress or the opposition stand is concerned. I think we need to look at, the direction which Indian polity is taking, opposing for the sake of opposing it. I don't think that makes much sense. That also doesn't make much sense to the voters also, and it's part of the overall decolonization process. And I believe there is a consensus over the decolonization process. So I think in day-to-day politics, political parties who are in opposition often try to score some brownie points over the ruling party, and it goes vice versa. But I think issues like, we have seen it happening in the past also, like on the issue of, border clashes with China. So we have seen the opposition taking a diametrically opposite position, which was not very conducive to the national interest, I would say. So, and the same thing is happening right now. I think it's unfortunate. I think they need to, do some more introspection, and I don't find any reason why somebody should be opposing it.
That's why I asked you, is it just sour grapes? Is it just sour grapes that, it didn't happen under us? It is happening under this BJP government, and that too Narendra Modi. And whatever said and done, the BJP government or the Narendra Modi-led government is very good at projection. But you can't begrudge them that.
No, I think I beg to slightly differ on this thing. Congress might. I think it's more of, trying to score some brownie points, and it's opposing for the sake of opposing it. See, you have to remember we are now almost in an election year. So on every issue you will see, the opposition will come out all guns blazing. And I don't think Narendra Modi government has the intention of, taking the credit for. It's a national heritage which they are creating, and that's the way they are looking at it. We look at it from the perspective of sour grapes. I don't think even the government would be looking at it like this. I think we need to have, be very big-hearted when it comes to national heritage issues like this.
Let's see if this parliament inauguration unveiling can become one of those moments. But frankly, Arun Anand, as you said, with the 2024 elections coming in, I don't really see the treasury benches and across the aisle any kind of friendship developing, even if it is for cameras and for such occasions. But Vivek Silas, I'm coming to you. Does the opposition not run the risk of exactly what Arun Anand is saying? Opposition for the sake of opposition, even if, people are not being able to understand what are you opposing exactly. This is about India. This is about Indian politics. This is an Indian parliament. This isn't about the BJP or Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Yes, ma'am. Very good evening to all the panelists. I would just like to say that you are making the Central Vista project a new parliament. Okay, you go ahead with it. There is no problem. But there are many other issues that the country is facing at the moment. If we see around it, if we generally see around it, what we see, most of the people are facing financial problem. Most of them are highly depressed. Today we see there is a, enormous price hike. We see massive unemployment. We see
inflation is at a 14-month low. Come on. Let's not repeat things. No, inflation is at a 14-month low. Let's not repeat things even when they're not true at this moment. Because then they don't carry any weight.
Let me respond. If they had not carried any weight, Bharatiya Janata Party wouldn't have lost the Karnataka election anyway, man. Let's see. Let's go ahead. We have serious border issue with China at the moment. We see it. Suicide rates of farmers is increasing day by day. Youth is, is jobless. Market is at a standstill. Corruption, inflation, employment is the hallmark of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have seen.
So what's the
how
point?
40%,
Should the new parliament not be made till there are no problems in India?
No, ma'am. This is not the appropriate time. That is what
How
I
is it
was
not the appropriate
about to
time?
say.
No, how?
Appropriate time.
How?
There are many other things. This money could have been used anywhere else for the welfare of the people, which the Bharatiya Janata Party had promised and has miserably failed.
This is
money
a
could
new
have
one
used
I'm
anywhere
hearing.
else.
This is a new one I'm hearing, but let Ajay Alok respond to that. You needn't have built this new parliament at all because this 970 crore rupees could have been spent better.
Shivani, his logic is like, if you have fever, stop taking food. Don't eat because you have fever. That is a much bigger problem.
I'm not a doctor.
When these people don't understand the meaning of a heritage building, when these people don't understand the meaning of national pride, because Parliament does not belongs to PM Modi, it belongs to the whole country, my dear friend. It belongs to you too. It's going to be something of a national pride for all the world, and for that you have a problem. That why you are spending this money on the Parliament.
You didn't get me what I went to say.
What is the national pride called about? How you focus, how you showcase your parliament? Have you seen the Ben building in London? How they still do it? Have you seen the White House? How they do it?
No, I have not seen the White House. You must have seen. I've never been there.
On the political backing, I am just surprised the kind of political jealousy and hatred you have for the Prime Minister.
Jealousy.
I mean, how this is going to function? If Akhilesh Yadav tomorrow
focused more on the problems of the people of India.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Akhilesh Yadav ended up spending.
You just you're not
Akhilesh Yadav ended up spending 50,000 crore in Agra-Lucknow Expressway. All the problems in UP were solved then. But today everybody praises him for that. Akhilesh Yadav ended up spending 15,000 crores for Agra-Lucknow Expressway. Do you mean to say at that point of time, UP had no problems in 2015-16? So that 15,000 crores were spent on building roads? Yes. What kind of a illogical logic?
It was a road. You cannot compare a road with a parliament, okay?
It's a parliament.
Can I compare something else? No, let me come in. I wanted to ask this. Vivek Silas. No, but let's compare, not compare a highway or a road. Let's compare the Gomti riverfront.
Okay.
That was done by Akhilesh Yadav government. What was there a need to do that when there are 10,000 other problems in Uttar Pradesh? Why did you do that?
Yes, it was made in the capital city of Uttar Pradesh, which Bharatiya Janata Party has just distorted. Go and look at that, what is happening.
But why did you do that? It's not, I'm sure even you are not going to claim that there were no other issues in Uttar Pradesh when you did it. Why did you spend so much money on it?
Ma'am, I just want to say, just listen to me. I don't know why. I just want to say the Bharatiya Janata Party is not focusing on the real issues that the country is facing, ma'am.
Okay, you
I am
could
not
have
against
worded
the parliament.
you could have worded it like that, but Vivek Silas, you said that this money should not have been spent on the parliament because there are many other problems.
This money could have been used somewhere else for the development of the people.
Yes, 900, trust me, no development in India is being held back because of 970 crore rupees. Let me tell you that much even I can tell you. But let Arun Anand come in here. Arun Anand, these are exactly the kind of arguments which is going to make people feel that this is, as you said, opposition for the sake of opposition. That why did you even build the new parliament? Because India has 100 other problems, which I accept. India has 100 other problems.
See, going by that logic, I find it a little, kind of not so convincing. Because going by that logic, if you see right from 1947 onwards, a large number of monuments and buildings and other things have come up. So, and there are always, problems like unemployment and inflation, and these problems are always there. These are, kind of part of the process of development in the sense that India is a big country and it will take some more time to get over this. And no country in the world, there is no country in the world which doesn't have unemployment. There is no country in the world, which doesn't have inflation. So all of us face the same issues, but these two are not mutually exclusive things.
Exactly.
That building a parliament
and tackling unemployment, it is not that the budget has been taken out or from the labor ministry or from the industry ministry and that budget has been spent here.
Fair enough. Manish wants to come in. Yes, Manish, very quickly. I also want to ask you an added question. What would you like the government to do, since you've accused them of not being collaborative enough? What is it that you would like to see the government do as the new parliament gets unveiled?
We've already asked for a joint parliamentary committee, and we asked for it a while ago. Now, here's the thing. I repeat time and again, and this is what I'm trying to say. Look, you cannot ascribe patriotism or a sense of a nationality just in a building. That is enshrined in the democratic processes, and we are as patriotic as anybody else. So we are opposing not just for the sake of opposition. There is a significant point involved here, and which is the point of sharing of information, of a consultative process. And I think there is an attempt to say that we are moving away from our colonial heritage. You don't move away from your colonial heritage by constructing new buildings. I apologize. You move away from your colonial heritage by developing new ideas, by developing new thoughts, by new systems of education, by becoming more educated. If we were to move away from our colonial heritage, should we start giving up wearing trousers and shirts, because trousers and shirts are a Western concept?
Okay, can I take that forward? Can I take that point forward? Let Ajay Alok come in. Arun Anand also wants to come in. Ajay Alok, I think this is the point we must debate. That is a new building alone a breaking of the shackles of the colonial mindset?
See, it's not alone. It's one among the few things. But as far as in your panel, people were talking about spending the money, the Congress and the Samajwadi Party. Let me remind them of 1986, when private holidays were taken in Lakshadweep, along with all the naval battalion and ships, and helicopters were hoarded to carry out wines. We have heard those stories. And at the cost of exchequer, when at that point of time, 86, 87, more than 50 crores were spent on the splurges. Right, and these people are today saying 950 crores for a heritage building. And let me remind Samajwadi Party of the famous Safai Mohammed at the cost of UP government exchequer, where Bollywood were invited. And these people are giving us or not building the parliament. I feel pity at them. I just feel pity, and I feel that these are my fellow Indians.
Okay, I think...
There is a proof for 1986.
No, let's not get into that. That's irrelevant to this debate. But Arun Anand, you wanted to come in on the colonial mindset issue, I think.
I just want to make a very small point to my fellow panelists who were saying that buildings and monuments, these things are not important when it comes to decolonizing. The first thing which Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru did when he became the Prime Minister of independent India, the first thing he did was to get the statue of King George V removed from India Gate. And there was a park near Kingsway Camp, what you call the Kingsway Camp. There was a park there. He can go even today there. There are tons of statues which were uprooted from all over the city on the directions of the then Prime Minister, and they were dumped there. They were all the symbols of colonial rule. So these things are very significant. These monuments, these buildings, don't say that, these things are, and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru himself did that. So these things are very significant. Why did you build Amar Jawan Jyoti? What was the need to build Amar Jawan Jyoti? So don't say that, these things are not important.
Fair enough.
These things are very significant.
Wait. There's a difference between statues and buildings. I mean, come on, this argument is devolving towards nitpicking, I feel. As far as Amar Jawan Jyoti is concerned, this is a significant sacrifice of Indian soldiers during the First World War. And I think regardless of who built it, these are Indian citizens who gave up their lives, and there must be a monument.
But Manish, wouldn't you concede that an Indian republic building its own parliament, which is futuristic, which is future ready, which is not a hangover from our colonial past, which is not that I'm deriding it, the current parliament building was also good at a point, but this is something that we've given to ourselves, unless, apart from what was handed over to us. Is that not something that will instill more pride? Can we deny that?
Look, I'm a citizen of India, and I said at the outset that I look forward to this parliament opening personally with a sense of excitement. But the point is that we are giving this new parliament to ourselves, and the Bharatiya Janata Party is the government at the center, and it is expressing, because it has majority, the will of the people. The point we are making as an opposition is that the process has sullied the end result and sullied it very badly.
Okay, so the politics
if you
around
don't
it.
have a content-
Okay, the politics around it has sullied what could have been a new heritage for us. Ajay Alok, I have final 30 seconds left. The main crib point of the Congress is that you don't take everybody along. Please respond to that. This is the third time I'm asking.
This is absolutely baseless allegation because this proposal was passed unanimously, adopted by the parliament, which Congress was part of. Is Congress think that they are not part of the parliament? Well, they have all the right to say this. Second thing, it's a matter associated with the pride of 130 crores Indians. It's going to be something which is remembered in the history and which will be a history for us. So please welcome it. And every countryman is proud of it. And just by mere sheer jealousy, shows how small people you are as in terms of political credibility goes.
Okay, I have to leave it at that. I hope that this political bickering, which is turning so bitter about India's new parliament, maybe ceases a little bit as we get closer to using it.